Right. And we're live. So welcome to today's In Conversation with the dark Claire hiding in her window. So today I'm Tracey-Jane Hughes, for those that don't know me, and I manage those things and the Business Cheerleading Club. And today we've got the lovely Claire Jones Hughes with us from Clarita Digital. And I've known Claire for quite a number of years, and we've both been doing a number of different things over those years. Claire has always focused on social media, and I've learned so much from Claire over the years that it's a real pleasure to have you here today, Claire. So just tell me what you're currently doing, because I know you've been doing all sorts of different bits, but what are you doing now?
Yeah, so Clarita Digital, I set up as a, I do manage people's digital marketing and social media, but Clarita Digital also focuses on training, so and training aimed at small businesses. So aimed at busy people, really. That's how it started, was like solopreneurs, as we call them, which I quite like that. We do everything, don't we, with our businesses? So the whole idea is the Clarita is my nickname, but it also means clear. It means, bright. So the whole thing I do, I focus on is to make sure that it's plain English where possible. I do geek out occasionally, but really I've spent a lot of time with small business, small business owners and users and such the like. And I've been helping them on one-to-one, and I try to understand exactly what it is that prevents them from using digital marketing and their challenges, and if they want to grow and they want to go further. So these training courses focus on several areas that I've identified where there are training courses online, but they are so broad. So I bring it back to the small business. I'm so sorry if there's that noise in the background. Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, I can't hear too much of it, Claire.
No. So I focus on small businesses and really saying to them, trying to reduce that overwhelm of like trying to be everywhere on social media and be digitally omnipotent, where, because that's going to end in burnout. So the whole point of my training course is it's bite-sized learning, 20, 30 minutes a day. People can, do it at their own leisure, and very practical as well, based on practical experiences that I've had with other small businesses.
That's perfect, Claire. And I'm trying to sort my phone out, because I had a message on Instagram today, which is quite interesting, and I now can't find the message that someone had a question because they couldn't come live, and I'm trying to find it for later on. But I will find it. I've got a rough idea what it said, but I think that's one of the points, and one of the things that I find with clients that I work with, Claire, is that people feel that, they tell me, well, I've got to do this and I've got to do that on social media, and it's just like, why? Why do you have to do all of these things? And I had it this week with two clients that I support, and I was with them at the Mum and Working Awards on Tuesday, and it was absolutely fabulous with Emma from Bras for Mums and Zoe from Bournemouth Bra Lady, and they were sort of saying, Facebook isn't working for me now that Facebook has changed their algorithm, and I'm not really comfortable with other platforms. So the type of work that you do, and your fabulous free trainings, Claire, it is absolutely perfect for people just like them. So I know you've worked with a lot of solopreneurs and mumpreneurs over the years, and small businesses. So you are doing it from knowledge of working with small businesses, aren't you? You're not coming at it from a big agency platform. I
have experience of big agency, and I have the experience of big brands as well. So,
hi, Alice.
Hello. So I try and bring that in as well. It's like how we can think like a big brand in terms of the way we are online, the way we communicate to a certain extent, except for I believe that small businesses have much more opportunity to be authentic, because often it's just us and we can show our personality. And I think there is a real opportunity on social media to connect with customers, because people buy from people. And if they buy from a brand, they're buying from a team and an army of agencies. And yes, okay, those brands are very professional, and there's certain guarantees that you get with working with big companies. You know, it reduces some risks, I guess. But, you know, small businesses produce great stuff. There's so much talent in there. And people are realizing that. And a lot of people would prefer to buy from a small business, and you're buying from, and the old adage is that, if you buy from a small business, you're putting money in the pocket to pay for, ballet lessons or swimming lessons, or, like a family, or, and I think people like that. So there is an opportunity there for small business. And I do appreciate Facebook is hard work at the moment.
Yeah.
But Facebook and Facebook own Instagram. So there are some opportunities there, especially with Instagram stories. If you have linked your business page to your Instagram page, your story appears on Facebook stories as well. So, I mean, I would never advocate cross-posting across the same duplicate content across two different platforms. But there are ways that you can optimize your personal resources, i.e. time. If by using Instagram and Facebook. Oh, sorry, I got distracted with this lovely message from Alice saying she gets much better customer service from a small business. And I mean, I don't know if that, that is generally true, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think that, the way that small businesses are able to respond to customers and give that personalized service. And again, I'll come back to, the two bra ladies I was with on Tuesday, and the way that they are growing their businesses is around that very personalized service that you can't get in a high street shop. And that's how Bras for Mums and Bra Lady started in the first place, was about that very personalised services to women who need good bra fitting. And, the fantastic job that Emma does with Bras for Mums with, telephone fittings and Skype and email services that your Marks and Spencers of this world and your Debenhams just can't do. They put their time and money into shops and fitting rooms and stock in the shops, whereas small businesses put their time and effort into serving that customer that's in front of them right now. So I think you're absolutely right, Alice, and I think that's what you, Claire, are doing with your business and serving small businesses and helping them to get things right. And what I'm doing with the Business Cheerleading Club, again, is helping, small businesses to get themselves to that next stage. And about if we can improve and increase the support that small businesses get, then they can then support the customers that are in front of them. And, our local economies, our local communities can then be a better place. And then that money, like you say, goes back into those families, and it all just, spirals, doesn't it? It all helps that work through.
Yeah, that's totally it. And I can't remember what I was going to say now. I can't remember what I was going to say now.
So you were saying that Facebook and Facebook owns Instagram. So there's a link there, and I think we've seen that recently, and these stories parts of Facebook and Instagram have been, confusing to people. Now, I think our teenage, my sons, I've got teenage sons, they look at stories all the time, whereas I've gone, oh, okay, what's that all about? So, I sometimes put a photograph on my story, but then my son came and said, you can put a link onto your website from that, don't you, Mummy? It's like, no, I didn't know I could do that. So, there's all sorts of things that, as business owners, we haven't got a clue about. So what are your top tips then, Claire, for Instagram stories?
Well, okay. So one of the things I was going to say was a lot of the time when I work with a smaller business or on my training courses, I end up saying to people, less is more. It's quality, not quantity. And with algorithms, that is most definitely the case. Now, obviously, if you can put out more content, you will get more followers. But if it's not quality content, then you won't get them. So it is less is more. And I think that's music. I mean, we did that blogging talk at the Mum and Working on Tuesday. We did a discussion, and, all three of the experts on the panel, the other two ladies, agreed with me, is that once a month minimum, as long as it's consistent, it could be enough, obviously if we can do more, but it's about where to start, and not to say I'm gonna do an Instagram story or an Instagram post, a day. Although one post a day would probably be a good idea, but if we set ourselves up to fail, then it's going to be worse, because these algorithms rely on consistency. So Instagram, first, I want to start, is a very important platform right now, especially if you are selling to women. The demographic is widening. So if you think it's for young ladies, you're right, but it's widening now. So the age demographic, predominantly, I think 70% are between the ages of sort of 26 to 40, late 40s, early 50s. So that's eating into the Facebook demographic. So we really need to think about that if if we know that women drive purchase. Now the thing to remember about Instagram stories is, obviously, what I would expect to see is an established Instagram profile, so very nicely branded. If you're going to start using the Instagram story functionality, which I'll come on to exactly what it is in a minute. I would highly recommend sort of having, your first 9 photos in that lovely 9 grid, which is what most people do when they go nosing around to check out who you are. So lovely branding, the links work, and that you've got your first at least 6 at the very least, but 9 would be ideal. So that's your shop window on Instagram, if you like. And opportunities. Instagram stories was really created, as Facebook and a lot of these platforms do, because of Snapchat was a real driver in this, because the stories are it's a functionality in Instagram where you can view a steady stream of images and little tiny video clips, 15-second video clips, that have been sort of posted together by the user. And if you click on, they appear at the top of your Instagram now on the app. And then they all roll into one another. So if you start watching someone's stories, then it'll hop onto the next person that you follow and the next person that you follow. Yeah. So you'll see stories. And it's called disappearing content. So it disappears after 24 hours. Now, the benefit of that is that you are putting something out there that will, it's like a news feed. And yeah. I think people are willing to take a few more risks with the Instagram story side of it, because it's not permanently out there, and it will disappear. But it means that from a content viewing point of view, you're only seeing bang on fresh stuff, and one of the reasons we pick up our phones and we check all this stuff out is because, we want to see what's going on. We want to feel connected to the world around us right now, and if you follow people from your city, so I follow a lot of people in Brighton, where I live, because I want to see what everyone's up to, and I want to see what they're up to now, not 10 days ago, not 2 weeks ago. This is really key. So when on the practical side of Instagram stories, so you have your app, and then your profile, when you look at your profile, it'll have a little blue plus button on your profile. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
And then
can you hold it up a bit higher, yeah. Claire? A bit higher.
So normally it'll higher, like that.
Yeah.
Normally it'll appear there. Or when you go to look at your news feed, so this is my news feed, you can see that the Instagram stories appear at the top here. Okay?
Yeah, got that.
You can add your story from either location. The little camera button appears at the top, and then it'll invite you to either share a clip, so you can just take a photo. You can add text. You can only add links if you have 10,000 followers or more, or your side. Yeah, I don't know if Facebook's any different, their story thing. I haven't tried that out, but definitely Instagram at the moment. They always try this on the super users, so the 10,000 more, and then they'll roll it out to other people. So, but you can add text. You can now add GIFs, which are always good fun, or animated text, or people like doing funny things with their hands and stuff like that. I mean, from a business point of view, obviously, if your branding is very important, then things like GIFs you might want to, see control a little bit more. But that's that's voice, and then you can do. Instagram have got a live function as well. Yes, links must. Fabulous with Alice has said links must work. So if you do add links,
definitely,
they must work. If you're lucky enough to have 10,000 followers or a blue tick. The other thing you can do, which is a tip I read, I can say there is an app called Later, and their website's later.com, and their blog, it's all Instagram focused, and it's amazing. And one of the tips that they shared, which I think was really good, is that if you haven't got the ability to add a link, tag yourself. You can tag yourself, and that's a clickable tag. So if you put, so if I put add Clary to digital while I was posting my story just before I pressed publish, and then people while they're watching it would press my profile and then go back. I mean, it is, you'd be able to press your profile anyway at the top and check you out. But they were sort of saying that's quite prominent. You can make it bigger, and then they can check you, and then they go to your profile. But of course, with Instagram, one of the frustrations is we only have one place for a clickable link, and that's in the bio. So, it's make it count. And if you are, when I come on to talk about creating stories, then obviously it's quite important what that link is.
Yeah.
So why it's good for business and driving traffic? I'm just checking that I've covered everything in my little notes. I mean, obviously, when you come on and you're new to these platforms, it is quite hard work at the moment. And so building an audience, it takes a lot of time and engagement. So by engagement, I mean following the right relevant people, chatting with them authentically, not just like, hey, great post, great profile. That stuff is not going to work. And these are algorithm changes that are coming down through Instagram as well. Instagram are looking for genuine discussion, because once they introduced the business side of it, Facebook did, a lot of users are like, oh, everyone's just trying to sell to me now. So, but again, I see this as a massive opportunity. I know we're time poor, but we're personality rich, as small businesses. So we can go in and have these conversations. And my tip for building engagement on your normal Instagram feed would obviously allocate some time every day to do that, but give yourself a day off, at least a day off a week, because it can really overwhelm you with the constant chatter. That's how I survive, just by having social media blackout, every week. So, but Instagram stories take engagement to the next level. And the reason why is that, firstly, you are showing a very true side of yourself. So you're going to talk to the camera for 15 seconds, a little video clip, or if you're at an event, you'll take some snippets. You're showing the personality behind your business. So you can show things like orders being made up, if you're sending out product. You can ask a customer, if you're a service based, ask a customer to do a little bit of Instagram with you, or take some pictures while you're, with that customer, if they didn't mind, and they get the benefit of it too, perhaps. But also through the hashtags. Now, hashtags are extremely powerful in Instagram because they introduce the mechanism to follow hashtags. I'm going to slow down a bit here now because I realise there's a lot of information coming out.
There is. It's all fabulous though, Claire, so keep going.
So at the moment, just to recap, I'm talking about why this is a benefit for okay. And the reason why you can use hashtags in Instagram stories. And there's two things. People are following hashtags on Instagram, which means that in their normal static feed, the normal old feed that's always been there of pictures coming through of people you follow, if you follow a hashtag, then you'll see people using that hashtag in that feed. It's fabulous. So for example, I follow you can follow anything business related. So I follow the hashtag mums in business. I follow solopreneurs. So I can see people around the world and their endeavors. On the personal side, I follow one called Puddlegram, which is photographers that have taken amazing pictures of reflections in puddles. And it just makes me happy. So that's how people are using hashtags. And it's the same with stories. You won't always see them in your story feed while you're watching people, but people will seek them out and they'll watch the stories of the hashtag that they're interested in. So if they're interested in a certain type of makeup, for example, or a technique. So I like Urban Decay. They're cruelty-free. They're very glittery. So I will watch all the stories of all the people using Urban Decay makeup at the moment and how they've done it. So it's great for things like fashion, cooking, lots of lifestyle things. It can apply to others. It can apply to business. I've seen accountancy, businesses on there. It's really, then you are, you will have to get creative, I think. But if you are passionate about your business and you just spend some time thinking about what you want your customers to know, it will come through. So Instagram stories, to recap, does help build your audience because they seek you out on stories using the hashtag, and then they like what they see, then they will follow you. It's another way for people to find you. The other thing is location. So if you're a location-based business, you can put your location in, whether you're at an event or, going about your everyday business. So, I run a hyperlocal blog called brightonmums.com. So I will add Brighton to my hashtags, and then I get, in Brighton, on average, I'll double my viewers when I use the Brighton hashtag. People are watching the Brighton story. The same at an event. If you're in an event, use the hashtag. People say, "Oh, they're there. I'm going to follow them," because you've got something in common. So it helps widen your network, and it's faster and quicker. So the more you are posting stories, the more you have that chance of finding that audience. But the same goes for hashtags on your normal feed too. But the location-based thing was amazing. I was actually in Southend-on-Sea for a job.
I'm putting that up there. You carry on talking, and we'll come back to this.
Right. That's a very interesting question. So I was, for a very quick example, I was at Southend-on-Sea for a random work project, not digital related, but I decided to have a walk around. Really lovely place, and interesting because it's a seaside resort, and I kind of like that. So I used the hashtag And normally my stories on that account would get about 30, at the time, probably about 30 viewers, because I just started using them. One Southend-on-Sea post got 200 viewers, people looking up. I can
Wow.
believe it. It's like little niche of Southend-on-Sea. So that's just me trying to illustrate the sort of that potential. So driving traffic to your profile, getting new followers, opening yourself up to new audiences. So the question from Alice is the hashtag automatic post to Facebook. So if you're talking about sharing pictures from your, not Instagram stories, but your normal Instagram feed over to your Facebook page, hashtags do copy across and they are not welcome on Facebook. The story cross-posting, so the story will appear in your page story as well on Facebook, and that's no bother. You don't have to worry about that. You just might get an extra few viewers who are using Facebook stories too. I don't think they're calling it that. I can't remember what they're calling it. I would not advocate cross-posting Instagram pictures onto your Facebook page that have got a ton of hashtags, because the Facebook algorithm for some reason does not like them, and I can't see that changing anytime soon because of what they've announced earlier this year about more algorithm changes. So with Facebook, it's try and keep that content nice and organic, Facebook Live, that sort of thing. The good thing about Facebook is if you use a scheduler officially, and this is officially because I looked this up for a client the other day, if you use a scheduler to schedule content to save yourself some time onto Facebook, they don't penalise you in the algorithm. It was thought that if you use the third party app like Hootsuite or Buffer, but the official line from Facebook is that they should not penalise you at all, and that's from Facebook. But if you use Facebook's own scheduler, then you avoid that risk. If it's a really important post, then no. So I mean that was a really good question, Alice. Thank you about for that. Yeah.
So we're coming to the end of our time together, Claire, which I think, I know we could do all sorts of different things. And I will ask you outside of this if you would come and do a workshop inside the Business Cheerleading Club later in the year. So I'm not going to put you on the spot now. So in terms of stories, the question I had from Jane from Create a Few earlier, which I found in my messages, but I had to go in again. I need to learn how to find those better, was how long should a story be? Now, I think you've answered it in that the videos will only be 15 seconds.
That's right. But you can do several. I mean, I've seen, you know, I follow a lot of bloggers, and what I would urge anyone to do, because we are short on time, I mean, I have actually covered everything I wanted to cover, actually, so that was really good. I would just say to go out and follow some super bloggers and see how they're doing it, because some of them are amazing. So there's 15 seconds, and you can video back to back. So you can do 15 seconds, take a breath, do the next bit, do the next bit. So you're your own kind of editor. You could do a live as well. With a live, I would really try and keep them to about 2 or 3 minutes, really. But the one thing I've noticed with the story is to really try and make them interesting, because the thing is, the messages from Instagram and Facebook is, you've got to be doing this, you've got to be doing this. So everyone is going to start doing this. So you have to stand out with your content, and you have to figure out what your customers want to know. And if you don't know that, ask your customers, ask people that you know, say, right, what would you want to know most from my business? Which is what I've been doing with my Instagram stories and my free webinars. Is I went out to a bunch of people and said, okay, what's bothering you? What do you want to know? You know, and I think everyone can do the same. You don't have to do masses of surveys and research. So just keep that content really punchy and really pertinent.
Okay, final thing from me, because it's just up here. If you are creating a video story on Instagram, can you save it somewhere else that you can then use that content somewhere else?
You can. You have the option in the functionality to save it to your phone. You
Okay.
can save it to individuals, or if you, while you're watching your own story, if you just push up, and you'll get all the stats.
Okay.
And then it's the option to save the whole story as a nice little edited video, and then you can go and use it. And I've posted them. I've posted them on Facebook as well. They're not optimized for Facebook, but you know, if you're short on time, it works. People still love it. It's, you know, people are receptive to it. So yeah, by all means, save that. And I don't think you can save the lives. You can save it for 24 hours, but I'm not sure that you can save the lives. I've tried that and it didn't work.
Okay, so there's still a bit of learning to do, still a bit of playing to do. Thank you so much, Alice, for all your questions. And thank you, Jane, for your question beforehand. That was Jane from Created for You. So Claire, how can we find you afterwards? I think I've got a link here somewhere, and because you've got some free courses coming up, haven't you?
I have got my they can sign up on my website for the webinar bulletin. So basically they sign up under webinars. I think you've got the link, haven't you, there?
Yes, just put it in the comments. So you've got free courses is I think. And then just on the landing page is where you can sign up for the free webinars. There's a little pop-up that comes up. Or it did this for me this morning.
Yeah, there's a pop-up, or you can go on the landing page. And once you sign up, you'll need to confirm double opt-in, so check your spam. And then basically you'll automatically get an email from me with all the next dates of the free webinars. And I have Instagram stories coming up on the 22nd of March at 7 p.m. in the evening. And if you can't make it live, you can watch the replay. So yeah,
brilliant. Thank you so much, Claire, for your time and for sharing those tips for business. I mean, you know, some of these things, like you say, are so confusing, and there's lots of business owners that are not doing anything because they're finding it just so overwhelming. So starting with Instagram, having a play with Instagram stories, you can't do anything wrong, can you? It's about, you know, sharing you and your business with other people, and just have a play and see and check your stats and what is working. And like you say, ask your customers, ask them what they want. You know, and just share, just be you. So it's wonderful to see you, Claire, and I've seen you twice. I saw you in person, gave you a hug on Tuesday, which is absolutely wonderful. And it's wonderful to speak to you on International Women's Day. And you know, there's loads of passion around today, even more so than usual. So, you know, we can get passionate about our businesses. Please carry on the conversation in the comments, and we will also be carrying on the conversation in the Business Cheerleading Club about Instagram stories and about social media and how we can use social media in our businesses. So I'm Tracey-Jane Hughes from Business Cheerleading Club and Manage Those Things. And thank you so much to Claire Jones-Hughes from Clarita. You could say it Clarita, don't you? Clarita. And happy International Women's Day to you, Alice. So, and everybody else that will be watching this later on. So thank you so much, and I will see you soon.
Bye.